We stand today at the threshold of a great event, both in the life of the United Nations and in the life of mankind.
All are equal before the law and are entitled without any discrimination to equal protection of the law.
All human beings
are born free and equal in dignity and rights.
मानव अधिकार सिर्फ नारा नहीं होना चाहिए, ये संस्कार होना चाहिए।
Namaskar. For centuries, human beings have been divided by erstwhile kingdom, religion, sex, ethnicity. Nevertheless, each one of them is immensely treasured and highly appreciated. With an honest and noble endeavor to conceive more unified, peaceful and equal world, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights have been adopted.
Human Rights Day is celebrated every year on December 10th, the day the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. We can take action in our own daily lives to protect the rights of our people, the rights to protect us all, and thereby promote the relationship of all. Human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights.
10 December, it's just not another day. It's a landmark date in the history of mankind when human rights is observed across the globe. Constituted on 12th October, NHRC, that is National Human Rights Commission, has been doing impeccable service to the nation by protecting and promoting citizens.
The National Human Rights Commission, NHRC of India, is a statutory public body constituted on 12th October 1993 under the Protection of Human Rights Ordinance of 28 September 1993. The National Human Rights Commission is responsible for the protection and promotion of human rights defined by the Act as rights relating to life, liberty, equality and dignity of the individual guaranteed by the Constitution or embodied in the international agreement and enforceable by courts in India. NHRC India is playing an active role in coordinating with the National Human Rights Institutes around with other NHRIs around the world to raise awareness from a human rights perspective. It has also hosted delegations from United Nations agencies and other national human rights commissions, as well as members of civil society, lawyers and political and social activists from many nations.
Today on our show, we have Honorable Justice Arun Kumar Mishra. So thank you for joining us. Let me introduce. Sir has been the current and 8th chairperson of NHRC and has previously served as Judge of Supreme Court for nearly 6 years. And allow me to add, sir happens to be the youngest chairperson of Bar Council of India. Welcome, sir. Welcome on board. Sir, today we will be discussing about the relevance, development and significance of NHRC. What's your take on that?
NHRC, according to me, is not only a statutory institution, but it has been established by virtue of our well-recognized tradition of centuries old. It goes more than, if we recount,
Yes, sir.
more than 3,000 year old. Our religion, our culture, our civilization
Yes.
has passed the test of time. It contains basic human rights, basic human values, and we are fortunate enough that all these human rights which were in our civilization have found place in our golden constitution. As in, there are several countries in the United Nations which are part of this declaration, 10th of December
sir.
1948. There were no constitution. There are in still several countries you find there is no constitution. So it was necessary to have a common declaration.
Yes,
Though
sir.
we were lucky to have these values embedded in our culture and civilization and our constitution and various laws which have been framed pursuant to our constitutional goal contained in part 4 of the constitution. If you ask me, best dharma is Manav Dharma.
Manav Dharma.
When a person is born, as soon
Yes,
as he comes on the earth, he comes up with these rights. These rights are not conferred upon him. These are basic rights. When he is human, he is with certain rights, with certain dignity, with the right to live. He has right to liberty, right to equality, right of freedom, other freedoms enshrined in our constitution. He cannot be arrested or detained illegally. And we are lucky that our Supreme Court and various high courts have given very purposive interpretation to our fundamental rights. And in Article 21 we find right to life has been cannot be taken away unless law itself is contemplates due process of law. It's not only process of law, but due process of law. According to me, nothing is supreme above it. And if you want to serve the humanity, you see, but where humans should have reached, there were poverty, we should have taken care of the poverty, poor, downtrodden, disabled. We have to make them empowered. We have to support them by ameliorative measures. We have to give them a support. We have to ensure that benefit which the government is giving to them, trickle down to them, reaches to the bottom. It should be available to them. The benefit of the scheme should be extended to these fellows, which is contemplated under our Article 39B and C of distributive justice. Material resources of community are distributed. They are not kept concentrated in few hands.
Yes, sir.
Everybody has got the right for equal right to enjoy all these rights. Now you see, these are basic fundamental rights. Human rights are supreme rights, you see. Right to breathe, right to have food, right to have shelter, right to be treated with dignity. Even in jails, prisons, you cannot treat a person like animal, you see. He has to be provided good food. He has to be kept in good condition. He has to be extended medical treatment. Right of privacy of an individual is also very significant human right. You see, it cannot be violated very easily, and our right of freedom is the supreme right. See, but our constitution under Article 19 says that it is riddled with certain constitutional obligations: sovereignty, integrity, decency, public morality, and you see, we have to care for the rights of the others. You see, when we ensure that there is distribution of material resources of community,
Yes.
we have to at the same time look towards how we distribute it to the needy. We have to form a harmonious society. You see, our intent is to form harmonious society that everybody participates in the mainstream. Everybody shares the power. Participative justice. Nobody can be deprived of equal justice by socio-economic disabilities, you see, or any other disability. That's why our constitution aims for equal justice for all, freedom for all, and everybody is equal, born equal, will die equal, and that we have to take care that everybody is given, every human is given the dignity and is not meted out in dignified treatment by any machinery. Our role is taken as against government. Maybe that we sometime recommend that certain action should be taken against certain remiss or negligence by a government official, or by his negligence, or by his act of omission, or you see, violation of human rights, you see, or abetting the human rights violation. But you see, our intent is that it is for the good governance that we recommend certain compensation when there is certain torture of any imprisoned person, or any person has died due to medical negligence, even in a jail, hospital, or in custody. We recommend compensation to the next of the kin of such person, you see. But COVID has, you see, has brought out several facets to which we must focus around the world. No doubt, intellectual property right is also important right. One must get fruits of his invention. That is in the monetary form. Patent is protected, and evergreening of patent takes place, you see. With slight change, they want to keep on multiplying the benefits to them, and they do want to, every invention is for the benefit of the unity. We see poor cannot afford the vaccines, life-saving drugs, they are very costly. Even good vaccines are not available throughout the world to the poor. In India, we are lucky that government is providing free vaccines to all, but it is not so in the entire world. People cannot afford the costly life-saving drugs even for the treatment of COVID. There is colossal loss of humanity. Human lives are very precious. Patent rights must give way to the right to life of an individual. We are of concerned. We have raised this issue.
Exactly, so the nation is free when every citizens are born free and can live a dignified life. So, sir, my next question is that you're having a lot of responsibilities, and with responsibilities come great challenges. So, what are the challenges and grievances NHRC, addresses and resolves, and what steps are being taken by NHRC?
Our main challenge is that still people are ignorant of their rights.
All right.
One. Number two, we see that still there are though technology advancement has taken place during COVID little more, health infrastructure had to be developed due to worst ever situation which the world has faced. But still we see that there is digital divide. Technology has advanced, but the digital divide is such a thing of which people are not having this facility throughout India. How to help them, you see, that is our concern.
All right.
In such situation, when there is so much digital divide, drop out from the school going children now, that is one of the issue. It should stop. We have to ensure that offline, how we can ensure in such precarious times when such, you see, pandemic takes place.
Exactly.
Right of small vendors, you see, everything is taking place online. E-commerce, no doubt, is good.
It's good,
But at the same time, it has created disparity. You see, small vendors, what happens to the small vendors? Globalization is good.
Yeah.
There is no question of going back from it. India is signatory to WTO.
Yes, yes.
But at the same time, we see that we have to ensure that we are able to protect the rights of our traditional workers, small sectors. I am not opposing the rights of those who are spending the money, but you see there is unequal bargaining power.
So my next question comes from that, since you say that you need to fill in the gap. So does the NHRC provides monetary relief to the victims, and is there any legal assistance also?
Madam, we are not providing monetary relief. Actually, we are recommending body.
Okay.
We recommend compensation or damages to be granted to an individual in case of violation of human rights. One.
Okay.
And when there is violation, there is certain person is guilty for that, violating the rights or abetting those rights. We direct action to be initiated, either departmental or criminal, in criminal court, or other appropriate action as the case may be. We are recommending body, and we ensure that our recommendations are carried out by the public authorities, state governments and central government, etc. We issue several important advisories to fill in the gaps, to bridge the gaps, to iron out the creases, and to ensure that the benefits of those schemes which are framed by the government under the constitutional directive principles of the state policy, once they finds place either in the statutory form or in the form of the scheme, they have to be given effect to. They cannot be permitted to remain a mockery on paper, you see. There is we unfortunately find that in spite of every effort by the government, you see, so many welfare schemes, but implementation by certain officers at certain ground level they are remiss in that. So we have to ensure that every person, even in distant and far-flung area, is benefited by these schemes.
Even how to reach the remote areas, far-flung areas where people are less aware or less literate, especially in hilly or tribal areas. How you reach them?
We basically, one is that we take suo motu cognizance. We have special rapporteurs, we have special monitors for such areas which are very vulnerable and far-flung areas. We obtain reports from that. We get studies done by them. We have our investigation team for finding out the truth in case investigation necessary in such areas. When you see, digital divide is there in such areas. You see, technology has not reached to them. Then we always, our research wing is very, we have a very competent persons in our research wing. They always keep on researching how the benefit is not reaching to far-flung areas and tribals, those who are illiterate and all this. We make the study and find out if we can suggest certain more emulatory measures by which the benefit can be percolated down to these vulnerable sections. That is our job. We serve the purpose of humanity, you see. Our effort is that every human should come up, should be part of the mainstream.
What kind of steps that NHRC takes when he knows that a certain person is violating human rights? I mean, what actions or legal battles they can take against that particular person? We
can summon them. We can record evidence. We can get the investigation done at particular places. In India, we are sending our investigation team for several investigations, serious kind of investigation, to find out the truth and to determine who is guilty for violating the human rights, you see. We see the living conditions in jails, we see the living condition in orphan houses, we see the living conditions at hospitals, you see, schools, government schools and all these places. This is our job, you see, to ensure that people live in good condition, good food is provided to them, those who are destitute are supported. Even we are ensuring, we discuss it at length, you see, that how the widows of Mathura and Varanasi get the property right, they have been abandoned by their families. We are undertaking this study how we can ensure, if necessary we will take certain steps also in this regard, that they get the property rights in the property which belongs to them, but they have been abandoned by their family, they are not supporting them. So this is our job, to provide support, supporting hand to the such destitute persons, widows, and there is wherever there is certain practices which are derogatory to the humanity and human dignity, we ensure that it eradicated.
Does NHRC recommends punishment against the victim, or can punish directly?
We cannot punish anybody. You see, we are only
Okay.
recommending body, but we can ensure things are going in right direction. Person is put on trial.
Okay.
Guilty is put on trial. Departmentally tried, or what departmental inquiry takes place, or whatever it is. But we are not punishing body. It is function of the department authorities or that of the court to punish a person. We are just supervising. We can supervise that, and we till the end we can see that we can file the cases also
All right.
to support those causes of those persons. And recently also with respect to migrant workers, we have intervened in the Supreme Court and taken care of their
All right.
rights, you see. When we feel that it is necessary that we should intervene in such matters, and our job is to help the government as well as the judiciary
All right.
by making investigations in proper good governance. We are not our function is not adversarial against them, but at the same time we cannot tolerate any remiss on the part of public authorities or negligence or atrocities, even by even our armed forces, semi-armed forces, police. They are supposed to protect the human right. They are there to protect the human right. They are there to protect us. They are there to protect our boundaries. They are there to protect the humans of this country. And in this direction, we seek the help of NGOs. That is
Okay.
our duty.
All right.
It is our statutory duty also to ensure that how the terrorism should come to an end. Terrorism is the worst violator of the human rights in the
Exactly.
country. You see, it is being sponsored sometime by outside
Anti-social
forces,
activities, yes.
forces also.
Yeah.
And then you see, one should not feel that they are the only spokesperson about the human rights, only champion of the human rights. You see, everybody has a right to protect the human rights and say who is violating
Yes,
them and
agreed.
for what purpose they are being violated in any particular country for a given time. We see that violation of gender rights is taking place in the world in several countries. We are alarmed by these situations. You see, women have to be respected. They are
Yes, sir.
respected like
Yes, sir.
you see Shakti in India. They are, you see, they look after the house. They make the house. You see, they are the makers of the destiny of of this country. You see how they can be treated differently. We do not understand. We are also trying to ensure that wherever there is any discrimination or any such practices which may be prevailing even at present in India, they have to be taken care of any part of the world. This day is more important because this day relates to all countries of the world and common declaration made to protect the human, you see, and their rights.
And sir, protecting human during pandemic COVID-19, what steps were taken by NHRC? And
There
how?
are several advisories were issued, you see, about mental health.
Mental health, yeah.
Nobody is disposing, nobody was touching, even sons were not touching the dead body of the parents.
Exactly, sir.
When it was seen that bodies were being thrown away, were left at the mercy of the few persons, you see, they were not being even lifted properly. They were being lifted like, you see, even animal carcasses will not be lifted. People were not correcting even their last ashes. Then we had to came with the advisory for giving respect and dignity to the dead bodies, their proper cremation, dignified cremation. Mental health deteriorated during COVID, you see.
Exactly.
Frontline workers, police also suffered this, you see. Several setbacks, you see, they were frontline workers, you see, they have sacrificed their life at
Exactly, sir.
the cost. They have saved various colossal damage India suffered, and they have saved the life of several other persons by sacrificing their own. We see thousands of doctors have died in India.
Yes.
You see, we must salute them on this
Exactly.
day of Human Rights Day. You see, but we stood together in adversities, and India has shown the path how such pandemic should be taken care of, how we should distribute the vaccines to the world. We have given the vaccines to the world And
Yes.
when even we were having shortage.
Exactly.
Now we are having it in abundance. We are distributing it still, but it is not happening throughout the world.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. So we can say the losses faced by COVID-19 have left many families handicapped. NHRC has recognized this grave situation and has been working relentlessly, tirelessly for uplifting of citizens throughout the country. Thank you, sir. Thank you.